Source says, and I quote, "You can count on me." So as I was thinking about what this video was going to be about today, um, I wasn't even thinking. I actually asked because I am a channel for source energy, higher power, God, the universe, nature. They are different iterations of the same energy. And I said, source, what do you want this next video to be about? And this song popped in my head. I don't know if you guys have seen Waiting to Exhale. That is a very sad movie, but it's a oldie but goodie. It's like a black classic. And the song is actually by Whitney Houston, who's in the movie. And all I heard was a friendship that'll never end. When you are weak, I will be strong. Count on me to carry on. Call on me, I will be there. Don't be afraid. It's another line, but it ends up with you can count on me. And that's where it ended. The "you can count on me." That's where the song ended in my head. So I'm like, oh, so Source wants me to do a video to let you guys know that you can count on her. And if you just look at the lyrics in the video, call on me, I will be there. A friendship that will never end. When you are weak, I will be strong, helping you to carry on. She wants to be that rock. She wants to be that source for you, that source of energy, that source of strength. When people are like, oh, where do you get it from? Where do you get such strength? Where do you get such resilience? Where do you get the grit to continue on, to continue fighting your battles, to do such amazing things? She wants to be that for you. So if you're having trouble believing, if you're having trouble carrying on, if you're having trouble getting the mustering up the strength to change your life for the better, if you need courage and determination to do what you've never done before, she wants to be that source of inspiration, that source of energy, because she's the source of all. When it's time for you to tackle your healing, when it's time for you to be disciplined, she wants to be that source of energy for you. She wants you to rely on her. A friendship that will never end. Friendships come and go. Even friendships that last a lifetime, guess what? They end after that lifetime is gone. But she is an everlasting, an everlasting source of energy. I'm a little nasally today. My allergies plus a throat chakra awakening, and the third eye is got me a little congested. But she gave me strength to get up here and continue speaking, even though I'm a little congested, even though my sleep was a little funky. Even though I got 2 babies that are also going through their little thing as well. I have 2 kids. But I am so happy to be here. I'm so grateful. I'm grateful for her. I'm grateful that she is my source. She is my source of strength. She's seen me through times where looking back, I didn't know how I got through it. I've been through some interesting things and some really hard, tough times. I haven't had, I'll give you one. I'll give you one story. I was 85 pounds because I was stressing out. Um, they were, I had just become estranged again from my family because, they've shown me things. They've shown me that, I wasn't a valued person in their life. They've hurt me in certain ways. They've betrayed me in certain ways. People who I gave my money to, gave my time to, and I just wasn't receiving. It wasn't a reciprocal energy. It wasn't a reciprocal relationship. I was the only giver and I wasn't receiving anything. So it was leaving me feeling depleted and worthless. I also was in a relationship, on and off with someone, with my children's father, and that was extremely draining, and that wasn't reciprocal, and I was the only giver. Again, I was a people pleaser. And for the second time, I'm like, okay, I can't. I tried to reconnect with them. This was 2023, and I had decided, like, hey, I can't reconnect with them again, or this reconnection isn't working. I'm seeing the same patterns, so I have to disconnect again. But then I had to go to work because, the bills were all on me. So that was really difficult. So I had to hurry up and try to find a babysitter. So this was the end of 2023, going into 2024. I had racked up a $6,000 debt in my rent. But I knew I could pay it back pretty quickly because I was a travel nurse. But I had to find a job. I got one an hour away in Frederick, Maryland. I had to pay someone really, really close to me $300 to watch my baby for the 3 days that I worked. It's like 3 days on, 4 days off type of thing. I had to pay them $300 just to be there while I was asleep during the day because I worked at night. She would be there and watch my baby, and she did that for 2 days. And so I had her, I paid her $300 for that. That's a lot of money. Most of the time I had to get up because he was crying and all this other stuff. And then I just began to whittle down to 85 pounds. I remember even before I took the contract, I had to do my weigh-in, my physical check-in. I said that I was 85 pounds and I still had my phone in my pocket. And I didn't tell them I had my phone in my pocket because I was definitely afraid. No, I took my phone out and then I was 85, but I still had like these jeans on. Like I had these heavy clothes on because it was in the winter time. And I did not want to take my clothes off. You don't have to get naked, but I didn't even want to take my clothes off too much, like the layer of sweater that I had on, because I didn't want to see. I didn't want to know, like, truly how much I weighed. Oh my goodness. And this was before actually I had my second child. So I'm going to work. I'm driving to Frederick every day. Frederick, Maryland is an hour away from Baltimore. I'm driving back and forth, and I'm paying the $300 just so I can pay back my rent. That's just for the facial tracking, which is not working. Hey, honey bun. There we go. And it was just really tough. And I got sick. I got food poisoning. And then after the food poisoning, I thought that was going to take me out. I was like sidelined for 3 days. Like, I got food poisoning at my job and I went down for the count because I was vegan, and I ate some cheese from a sub from Pizza Bowlies, and I was down. It was something in that sub. I was down for the motherfucking count. When I say down, I was down. I was going through all types of stuff. I was going through gang stalking, if you guys know what that is, if you guys have ever heard of it. I was having really scary experiences. Maybe I'll tell you guys one day about my experience with law enforcement. That was like really, really freaking scary. That really scared me. So Spirit must be telling me I just need to stand still and tell my story, because the facial tracking isn't really working as well. So I was still mustering up the strength. So during my 4 days off, I had my little one. He was 3, and during the weekend, like I just was struggling eating. I was struggling. I didn't have an appetite. I was throwing up and I didn't know why. I thought it was still from the food poisoning. I was 85 pounds. You can see my rib cage. You can see my my intercostal muscles, my intercostal. Oh goodness gracious! I was a nurse, but look, it's all left my brain by now. I mean, it hasn't, but it's just that I'm telling a really kind of charged story, so the anatomical parts is really not. Anyways, I was so skinny. My face was sunken in. My thighs, I could wrap my whole hand. As you can see, I can nowhere near wrap my whole hand around my thighs. I can wrap my whole hand around my thigh just like that. Easy. And I was still working these 12-hour shifts at night. It was a step down unit. It wasn't quite the step down unit, but they had some pretty sick patients there, even though I was used to being an ICU nurse. They had some pretty sick patients there, and I was getting hell at work. I was getting targeted. If you know anything about being Black and being in the nursing field, it's a mostly predominantly white field, and anything involving intelligence, they really underestimate us. And if you do prove to be intelligent, then you got a target on your back, because especially if you are intelligent, you're kind to your patients and you have your own mind. So just bear with me. This testimony is getting somewhere. So all around, it was just dark. I wasn't seeing light from anywhere. No friends, no family. It's just work, trying to pay back the $6,000, while still, maintaining like what I could for like food and other bills. Paying the $300, but then not really getting enough sleep. And this is just one situation in many situations that I've had in the past 3-4 years. Like, I've had a lot of really intense times. Found out later on I was actually pregnant with my daughter. So while I was working, while I was going through all of that, every time it would hit 2 o'clock, I would be nauseous at work. When I would get off at 7 a.m., I would be nauseous. I would be in my car driving because I just had to get out of there. It made me so anxious. I was so anxious. I was very depressed, and I just wanted to throw up every single time I left there. Because that place made me sick, but it was also morning sickness, come to find out. And I just look back at being 85 pounds. It's like, how in the hell, who sustained a baby? I was like, I didn't even know I could get pregnant. Mind you, I had just cut it off with him. I had just had him move out, because this is 2023 going into early 2024. As I said, I tried to do the on and off thing in 2023. It didn't work. By the end of 2024, I was asking him, I was letting him know, hey, he needs to move out again. He wasn't helping with the bills. It just wasn't really good between me and him. He was treating me like shit again. So I asked him to move out. I was like, where did I get all this strength to maintain a contract, to work full time as a travel nurse? And travel nurses, they expect more of you because you're getting paid more. I was 85 pounds. And then I was growing a baby. She's healthy now. She's about to be 2 in a couple months. Where was I getting the strength? Who sustained that? Crazy. Getting up. I was doing too much. And I'm getting a little emotional because I just don't know how I did it. And I do source You see how it's followed me again? Source is the one. Source was the energy, was the life that kept my baby going. And when my contract ended March the 1st, it was like I knew what to do. I didn't know I was pregnant all the way. I was in like la la land until I was 5 months pregnant. And guess what? I never had not one prenatal appointment because I didn't know why I was pregnant when I had her. And then afterwards, when you're not on contract as a nurse, they drop all your health insurance. And then I ran out of money pretty quickly after paying a $6,000 debt plus all, and then I had to pay up the rent. So I ended up moving with my baby father again. No prenatal the entire time. She came out healthy. I had a C-section my first time. I pushed her out. I was really held during that pregnancy, during that time. I was held. I was sustained. I was guided. I gained so much weight after I finished my contract. I ate and I ate and I ate. I was buying like $300 off of Instacart for food. I was juicing fruits. Had a juicer. I was juicing fruits. I was so healthy. I was eating walnut tacos, Chipotle with the avocado and the sofritas. I was so sustained, and when the money ran out, Source had a plan for me, and it wasn't a plan that I understood at first. It wasn't even a plan that I liked. But I did it. I followed it. And guess what? I was sustained. Source says, you can count on me. You can count on me. I would not have been able to keep working again like I did with my son. I would not. I worked with him as a nurse until I was 9 months. I was not able to do that with her. And they knew it. And she knew it. And she said, okay, Faith, don't worry about it. That's it. That's it. And when I quit nursing that day, that contract, I knew in my soul that I would never go back to be a nurse again. And she is still sustaining me. And I know you're like, sometimes you're like, hey, well, I don't want to just be sustained. I want to thrive. Well, just you watch. You keep tuning in and you'll see. I promise you, not only am I thriving inner, because everything is not all about the material wealth. The material wealth will only come when you have a solid energetic foundation. Source is not about to give you something that you're just going to squander away. And chances are she's already given it to you, and she's already watched you squander it away. She does give you a chance. I had a lot of money when I was a nurse. I remember one time, like, I got $10,000 back in taxes and da-da-da-da-da. And guess what I did? I spent it on everybody else, and I was really irresponsible. I didn't put really good foundations in place. I was overgiving, overspending, going to vacations with people that I shouldn't have, that has never returned to favor even to this day. So let me tell you, you can count on her. That is just one situation, because there was a situation that happened in 2025 that she sustained me through. She sustained me. There's been other situations. There was a time where I thought I wouldn't wake up. It's been a couple times. It's been 2 times. One in particular, that I should, when I went to sleep, when I went wherever, I should not have woken up. Twice. Source will sustain you. When you be like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I survived that. I don't know how I woke up the next day. I don't know. And that's a really dark place. If you guys know, you know. That is Source sustaining you. Let her be that rock for you. She doesn't want you to rely on a job for stability, for security, for safety. She doesn't want you to find security, safety, and stability in things that can be taken away in the blink of an eye. Even if you're the CEO of a company, that company today or tomorrow can crash. The stock market or whatever the case may be can crash. If you don't have the right board of trustees, they can vote you out. If you are an employee, forget about it. Forget about it. You know that's definitely not any type of clocking in and out. Is no type of financial stability. Break your leg and be out for a couple months and see if you can come back to your job. Oh, I know, I've been there 20 years and da-da-da-da-da, and yes, and but if you're paycheck to paycheck, or if you're every other paycheck, you can't afford that anyway. Oh, I get disability and this, that, and the third. You never know how things can get really shaky. Maybe it takes longer than you thought. You never know what can happen. Remember when they cut off all those people food stamps? That was even to show people that you cannot even rely on the government. The government is not it's not Source, it's not God, it's not an everlasting thing. Oh, the government will always be here. Don't be so sure. People change, government regimes change all the time. So Source wants you to rely on her. And it's even going to get to a point, even with some of these food shortages, where they want us to, but that's far in the future. I'm not even going to, excuse me guys, I really, I don't have a tissue nearby and I don't want to just, I'm outside. But anyways, you gotta wipe, you know what I'm saying? Wash my hands later. That's real. That's some real shit. Like, but anyways, and excuse my sniffling. But anyways, Source wants you to find that solace in her. When it comes to friends, when it comes to family, when you are at your lowest, it's nice sometimes that you have a physical being that you can go to and talk to and yada, yada, yada. But they can't actually do anything for you. They can't actually sustain you. They can't give you their energy. They can't be there 24/7, always. They cannot do it because they are living their own lives. And that's what she wants to do for you. She wants to be there 24/7. She wants you to actively rely on her. She wants you to let her love into your heart. So if you're feeling unloved, unworthy, if you're having a really, really tough time, even feeling that this life is worth living, she wants to be the one to hold you. She wants to carry you like she carried me. She is there, all powerful, all omniscient, all knowing, all seeing, all loving, all being. Because she exists in me, she exists in you, she exists as nature. It's so many iterations. It's the same energy. Energy is neither created nor destroyed. And the same thing that gives you consciousness is the same consciousness that's running through everything. Do not be so naive to think that we are the only ones. The things that walk, talk, and have eyes, that bark and do this or do that. Do not be so naive as to think we are the only ones with consciousness. Do not be so arrogant, because we are not. It actually shows ignorance instead of arrogance. Yes, scientists are very arrogant, ignorant, instead of wise and knowing. Because everything indeed has consciousness. That's why every 5 seconds, oh wow, dogs are really smart. Oh wow, this is really wow. Oh wow, this is really this. But like thousands of years ago, people be like, really? Are you done? Like, no shit. Which is why, if you think about it, we don't have self-made mathematicians. If you think about it, in the yesteryears, that motherfuckers was self-made mathematicians. The black dude who made the atlas, what's his name? I think his name was Atlas, something Atlas. He freaking was he was a self-taught mathematician, and he drew geological, that was actually right. Now, how in the hell, ask me and you to go out there and do that? We'd be like, what? We don't even know north, south, east, and west half the motherfucking time. But these are things that they understood back in those times, that now, you know, if it's not proven, it's not real. We leave no room, and that is by design. We leave no room for the extraordinary, for the magical. Let her be that. Let her be the extraordinary, the magical. I don't know how that application went through. I was denied 5 times. Something told me which would be source, that energy, your gut, that instinct that's connected to source. Something told me apply for that 6th time, and I was approved. As you can hear, my spirit guides in the form of birds are going off in this video, because it's a very important video, and I hope you feel it. I hope you feel the magic. I hope you feel the love. I hope you know that looking at me today, I look great. What? 2 kids, 1 C-section, then a VBAC. I was 85 pounds multiple times. I should have overdosed twice. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it flat and plainly like that. I was not on drugs. I did not have a drug problem, but I was suicidal at certain points in my life. I did it. I made it. I made it out. I did it. I'm happy. I am joyful. I am free. Like, this is not a front. Like, after I turn this off, like, I'm not going in the house like, oh. No, I be in the house dancing to gratitude music. Like, what? No car. I'm living back with my parents. See my face, right? But there's a gratitude in that, because I know it won't last forever. I know I am held. I was held this far. It allows you to believe. It allows you to see. It allows you to expand. And one day, I know it deep, I am going to look back from the house of my dreams, from the car of my dreams, and be like, oh my goodness. I really was held. It really was temporary. She didn't bring me this far just to drop me off here and be like, all right, figure it out. She will not do that to you either. Sometimes she strips it all away so that you can rely on her and her only. And then with her as a foundation, then she'll give you all of your heart's desires, because you won't make an identity out of it. So when I become that millionaire, right, the money is not my identity. The cars, the houses is not my identity. When I reach 1 million subscribers, that 1 million subscribers won't be my identity. Because I know that the energy one, nothing is really yours, but two, the energy comes from source. That is the rock of it all. And that is just her energy reflected in me, that is reflected in my reality. So you take for granted nothing, you enjoy everything. Okay, I think that's enough for today. But just know, go listen to that song. It's called, I'm pretty sure it's called You Can Count on Me by Whitney Houston. When you are weak, I will be strong, helping you to carry on. Okay. Don't forget those lyrics. Don't be afraid. She's here to love you and not to hurt you.